Okay guys, so today I'm going to show you how to clean your cast iron skillet. Alright, so I have two that are not completely just super dirty. I have a small one. I cooked a little bit of fried potatoes in, and then I have a larger one that I cooked fried potatoes in. One of my kids does not like onions, so I always do his separate because we like onions. But regardless, I have a product that I want to I guess promote because it works so well. You can actually go into the Lodge store or online. I think even Walmart carries it, a cast iron cleaner. I looked at the ingredients on the back of the one at the Lodge store and it had just essential oils in it. Well, my Thieves Cleaner that I ordered from Young Living, and I can put the link for this in the comments so that you can actually order it yourself if you want to. You don't have to get a membership or anything. You can just go into the Young Living account through my link and order it. I think you get some kind of discount the first order that you make. I want to say that these run about $22 a bottle, but a capful makes a whole glass bottle of cleaner that I clean my stove with, clean my sinks with, my bathrooms, my mirrors, my windows. It's the greatest all-purpose cleaner. I actually had a student who did a STEM fair project and compared Thieves to bleach and the bacteria that they each were trying to clean, and Thieves actually killed more bacteria than the bleach. But you use whatever you want to as far as an essential oil-based cleaner. We know that soap generally cuts into the seasoning of a pan, but I'm going to also show you how to season your pan. So what we're going to do is, what I do is I start off, let me lower this just a little bit so you can see. All right, so I'm going to start off, I'm just going to run some warm water. We know that warm water, hot water cuts through grease better than cold. Now these aren't super dirty pans, like I said. There is a lot of oil against the pan, which is great for seasoning, but I'm going to use this as a demonstration and clean that up, even though normally I would leave that, because another time your potatoes are a pretty clean oil. Leave a pretty clean oil. All right, so I'm just going to basically just kind of rinse it out. And then in my spray bottle, I did 1 capsule of Thieves to 1 bottle of water. I'm just going to spray this pan really good. And then I have this really nice little scrubby cloth. You use whatever you want. And I'm just going to kind of scrub. It's a soft scrub. A soft scrubbing. It has some steel wool woven in it, but you do you on that. And I don't have a link to give you for that, but I'm going to clean that. Okay, and then what you're going to do is you're going to immediately dry it. So I'm going to dry this little booger. Okay, and I can tell I have a couple of spots in there that really need some seasoning. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take some olive oil. I tried vegetable oil, and vegetable oil leaves like this gum that I'm not pleased with. Okay, so I'm going to take my olive oil and I'm going to pour just a little bit in the bottom of this pan. Now you can use a soft cloth. I'm just going to use paper towel. Okay, so I'm going to take this paper towel and I'm just going to rub this olive oil, and you don't want to do so little of olive oil that your rag just soaks it all in. You want to do it enough that your rag is saturated, and don't keep folding your rag over. Keep that oily spot right there and rub your pan really good. I like to rub it on the sides, on the handle, even on the part where I'm holding it. Okay, I think I'm gonna pour just a little bit more. You want it to be nice and seasoned. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna turn my stove on medium heat. Again, you want that oily side of the rag. And I'm just making sure that this thing is just nicely greased. Now, cast iron is porous. So what you want to do is you want to heat this up on a medium burner, or even in your oven on like 325. And it's as it heats up, the pores of this cast iron is going to expand. Okay, and as it expands, that oil is going to get down in those pores. Then when you turn it off or pull it out of the oven and let it cool, then those pores come back together, they like contract, and it holds your oil in, and that's what makes it the seasoned. Okay, so I'm gonna set this one over here on the stove on medium heat. And I'm gonna say heat it up for about like 5 minutes. Okay, so I can kind of tell I don't want it to get to the smoking point. If it starts smoking, then I'm gonna turn it off. Okay, now here's my next one, my bigger one. You can see the potato scraps and stuff in there. Now I could probably, on a pan like this, just run my little squeegee cleaner, and it would probably take it right off. But just for the demonstration purpose, I'm rinsing it. I'm running that cloth over it. And now for the cleaning, because I don't know about y'all, but I feel like my pan needs to be cleaned with soap. And so that's where I get the satisfaction of using the Thieves Cleaner in my pan. Okay, so I'm just gonna spray inside this pan. Let me lower this a little bit for you. Okay, y'all, I got me a ring light, so you ought to be able to see it a little better now. All right, and I'm just spraying this Thieves Cleaner. It's just that diluted Thieves Cleaner. And I'm gonna take my rag and I'm just gonna gently, again, this is like a scraper type rag. It's just a very soft, I think I got this at a craft fair, but you could probably find a soft scrubby on Amazon. You might already have one. But this is just getting all those like cooked little bits that were in there. And the essential oil-based Thieves Cleaner is gonna keep it from scratching through too much of your seasoning. You don't wanna lose all your seasoning when you're doing this, because this pan and both pans had quite a bit of seasoning on them. Okay, so I'm gonna rinse this. And again, you want to dry pretty quick. If you don't dry pretty quick, it's very likely to rust in certain spots. And so again, I'm going to dry this pan really good. Yeah, it's got some areas that really need to be seasoned. And you might have to season a couple of times. Usually just one time is not going to give a full season. So if you have, if you've kind of abused your pan and washed it some too much or used soap, also a tomato base food, any like spaghetti sauce, chili sauce, those will eat through the seasoning of your cast iron skillet. Okay, so I'm gonna pour my oil in here now that I've dried it. I would say it's probably a good tablespoon. It doesn't take a lot, and if you feel like you need to add more, you always can. And then I'm gonna take that same oily rag, paper towel, and I'm just gonna really wipe this pan down. I'm gonna wipe the handle down. Wipe those sides down. Now, if you want to, if the bottom of your pan starts to rust or look like it needs to be seasoned, what I do is I oil the bottom of the pan, and then I turn it upside down on the rack in my oven. And again, I let it get really hot. And once it gets really hot, you can pull it out and let it cool. You want to keep it hot for a little bit because you want, as the pores begin to expand and that oil goes into it, that's something you're not going to visibly be able to see with the naked eye, but you'll notice how that pan begins to start absorbing the oil, and then you just turn it off, and as it cools, it's going to contract back and it's going to hold that oil in. Now, there might be some residue that you'll want to wipe out. It may not soak it all up, okay? And again, it may take a couple of times for it to really get in there good. All right, and we're going to put this one now on another burner and put it on medium. Okay, so I have both of my cast iron cooking on medium on the stove, and then when it gets nice and hot, I'm going to turn it off. And if I want to repeat that process, I can. If it looks like it needs more, I'll just pour some more olive oil in there and I'll wipe it down really good, and then I'll put it back on the burner, or even in the oven. If you're cooking on your stovetop, just pop it in the oven. But you want to make sure you, at least after you wash your pans, at least dry them instantly, because when they sit there with the water on them, water has oxygen, H2O, and the oxygen, the iron when it gets, when that oxygen and that iron begin to interact, it's gonna create rust. So I hope this helps you. If you have any questions, just leave it in the comments, or maybe if you have a different way of doing it that you would like to share, I would love to know about that. Just put that in the comments. Please subscribe and like whatever you're watching on my account to help me be able to keep the algorithm going. But thank you for watching, and I hope this is helpful for you for seasoning your cast iron skillets.